Back at it again. So I wanted to make another video. I'm kind of in a talkative mood. I want to discuss about happiness, because a lot of people don't understand what happiness is. They think once they make it to a specific amount of money, they're going to be happy. Once they have their spouse, they're going to be happy. Once they get married, I don't know. People have many false, let's just call them delusions, on what happiness actually is. So I have a friend who said something specifically upon being poor relates to sadness. And I couldn't think of a dumber thing that my friend could have said. He said because he's been poor his whole life, sorry, that freaking seatbelt needs to go. Because he's been poor his whole life relates to why he has depression or sadness in his being. And I explained to him real quick that all sadness is a lack of happiness. And you can choose to be happy at any point. You can literally flip a switch and be happy. Anyone can do this. Yes, you can do this. Anyone can do it. Have you ever seen somebody be bipolar? Well, being bipolar isn't naturally a sickness. Being bipolar is a conscious, let's say, a conscious activity, a conscious switch. So you are aware of that in which you are switching. So let's say you're happy, and then you hear, let's say, a gunshot in the distance because somebody decided to, I don't know, let's say you're in the country and somebody had a range set up, but you didn't know that they were going to shoot off the gun. And that shot happened, you went, whoa! And then that manipulated your existence. But it's up to your conscious awareness to manipulate that in which just happened. Your feelings, your emotions that just happened. So you're happy, you're talking to friends, and all of a sudden, boom! And you go, whoa, oh, my heart just dropped. Oh, I can't believe it. Now, you can stay in this state as long as you want. You can hypersensitize. Sensitize? I don't know if that's the word. You can hype up that feeling. Or you can quick switch to the feeling you were feeling before. Right? Now, that gunshot sound that was overwhelming, yeah, you experienced it, it was uncalled for, you didn't expect it, etc. But that doesn't mean you have to stay in that perpetual state forever. Switch! Get out of that state. So going back to happiness. When you are happy and all of a sudden something happens, let's say a bill comes in the mail, and you didn't realize you had this bill, and you forgot about it. And it's more than you can afford at that moment. And you realize, oh crap, now I gotta eat ramen noodles the next couple weeks until we can get our finances back up. That feeling you got when you saw that bill, and then you quick checked your bank account or whatever, and you realized, oh shit, well, are you gonna be stuck in that feeling all day? All week? The next 2 weeks? You shouldn't, because you can switch at any time you want. I know it sounds easier when I'm saying it, or it sounds more difficult to you because you don't know the power that you have. You have powers. It's very simple. You can manipulate your existence. You can manipulate that around you. You can create emotion. You can lose emotion. You can do these things at any given time, however you want. Now, granted, it's much more difficult to, let's say, change a feeling of tired to full energy, right? You got 3 hours of sleep. You can't just be like, you know what, I'm gonna get myself awake. I'm gonna drink some coffee and I'll be awake all day. No, it doesn't really work like that. However, emotion is a lot easier than being tired, because tired changes your endorphins, changes your other things, like it can be a sad day. It could be a stressful day. A lot of things can happen because of being sick that can result from being sick. However, your emotions during this period can fluctuate based on what you decide to have happen. You can flip that switch. Going back to happiness. Now, if you're not familiar with my channel is literally, I started it on the basis of happiness and longevity. Happiness is a very key element. Voltaire, my favorite quote from Voltaire. I choose to be happy. Choose. Understand what I'm saying here. I choose to be happy because it is good for my health. Choose. Choose is the key word here. It is very simple to just smile and have your day change. That's how simple it is. It is not complicated. You have a bill that came in the mail. Some people want to cope with this with unnecessary amount of crazy laughter. Like, hey, what am I going to do? But that's not the key here. The key here is just be happy. Now, being happy, no. Does it pay the bill? Most likely not, right? We're not delusional here. Let's be philosophical. Let's be scientific. Happiness isn't going to pay that bill. However, you can choose to be happy rather than sad or depressed during the period that you're having ramen noodles. You know, let's say there's kids in Africa that are starving. They don't have shoes. They don't have food. They don't have clean water. Well, they're generally the happiest. Why? And why is it that when somebody is, let's say, grew up in a $1 million house and parents are rich, parents gave them a Porsche for their 16th birthday, you know, this type of person. And this type of person is not grateful for that in which that they have, yet they are stuck up, prude, never grateful, which is literally the opposite of what you would expect if you thought money brings happiness. Now, I've said this on my channel a lot, the Bob Marley quote, you know, if money was the root of happiness, money is numbers. Numbers are infinite. They go on forever. So if you're looking for money as the cause, the root to happiness, well, you're going to go forever. And that's where greed comes in, because enough is never going to be enough, because it's infinite, right? So don't think of money bringing happiness, even though it might feel a little better if you had to have a session of crying in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Bentley, right? So you have a nice car, you have a nice house, you have a beautiful wife, let's say, because of your money, and these things are happening in a material world, and if material is what you want, well, guess what? You're going to get bored of material. You can't necessarily get bored of consciousness or like relationships. So think of it like this. Being a rich person should not result from having resources, materials. It should rather be in wisdom, in relationships, in the stocks that you have in your relationship. How much energy have you put into this relationship or relationships? That is more of a key to a better happiness in richness, if that makes sense, rather than having materials and possessions and resources, because these things will give you a feeling. You won the lottery. I won the lottery. How long until that feeling goes? Well, perhaps a long while, but it'll slowly degrade that feeling. The feeling cannot be sustainable unless you have, even if you won the lottery every single fucking day. Every fucking day. It's not sustainable. You have sex, let's say you're a man, you have sex with a woman for the first time. You were a virgin prior. that was a great feeling, that was awesome, blah, 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 right? That shit was awesome. You have sex again, shit was awesome. You have sex again, same woman, same woman, same woman, same woman. After 3-4 months, it's not going to give you that huge endorphin rush. It's not sustainable. So what is the key to happiness here? Sustainability. Trying new things, doing different things, seeing things, choosing to be happy. Rather than, when you choose to be happy, like you just put a smile on, you all of a sudden have an increase in endorphins, whether or not it's a rush. It doesn't have to be a rush to be an addict to continually get that high. A heroin addict cannot sustain the endorphins that it gets because it cannot release the amount of endorphins that you've gotten the first time. That's why they say your first hit of crack is the biggest. Every hit after cannot ever reach the potential of the first hit. Why is it? Because your endorphins cannot be sustained on the same drug, feeling, whatever. First time you drink coffee. Oh, I'm hyper, I'm happy, I'm whatever. You drink coffee every day, you're going to lose that. Same thing with everything in life in correlation to happiness. Because your happiness has to be sustained by you. You choose to put on this smile. No matter how broke you are, no matter how fat you are. Well, I think that generally has something to do with it. Happiness and longevity, they're like, two peas in a pod, but at the same time, understand that the choice is yours. It doesn't fall from the sky, right? And you have to choose a specific course to become happy. And it's as simple as flipping a switch. Have you ever seen those people that are happy all the time? And you wonder why? Well, because they choose to be that. For example, life can be rough for me too, just like those happy people. Things aren't fucking dandy all the fucking time. It isn't. You choose through your experiences, through your environment, how happy you can be. If you haven't seen my last video, check that out, because I discuss that capitalism, everyone starts off the same, right? We were all born into this world. It doesn't matter if you were born into a ghetto. It doesn't matter if you were born without a father. Your father died in prison, never saw you, etc. Doesn't matter whatever your case is. You could have been in the best schools ever, money out the yin-yang growing up, being in a rich family that loved you. Doesn't matter. You choose the route that you take your life. It's pretty simple, but I have to explain this because there are people out there that think that something has to have the cause that falls from the sky to create the happiness effect, which is inaccurate, untrue, false, delusional. Sorry to bring it to you in that type of rhetoric. However, it is that simple. I can't tell you how many times something happened and I should be like, and let all the emotions out and forcefully bring out the sadness and anger or whatever, pain. But I can't tell you how many times I'm like, okay, let's just say you stubbed your toe, right? Stubbed your toe, boom, fuck, it's gonna be one of those days, right? And I've said that on my channel. I can do the whole thing for you for this video because I have new subscribers. However, I'm not going to. Let's just say you stubbed your toe and you have a choice there. Do you stay in that perpetual pain, or do you choose to move on and choose the route that you want to take the rest of your day? Because you choose this shit. You choose this shit. I do it all the time. I do it every day. I manipulate my day to my liking. Because I have the power to do that, so do you. And I'm enlightening you right now that you too have this simple power to change your life, change your day, change the hour, change the moment. You have this power. It's very simple. And I told you, it's as simple as putting a smile on your face. It's as simple as intending happiness. If your intention is happiness, and you intend on having this and trying to make this sustainable, well, that's going to result. Because you have the power of intention. And people that want something to fall into their lap to be happy, right? Because people expect, with their socialist government today in the United States, or even in the West in general, which is becoming much more and more socialist in nature, they're expecting things to just happen for them instead of being an adult and taking their life into their own hands, right? So your kid falls. They're trying to ride a bike. They're 5-6 years old. They're trying to learn how to ride a bike for the first time or whatever, right? They fall off the bike. They scrape their knee. You see this happen. When you see that happen, it's your choice on how to manipulate your child. Do you want to run up with sad puppy eyes like, oh, and cry with the kid? Well, that's going to help the kid cry. Or are you going to go up to him and with a smile and be like, that's your first bang or scratch or whatever, and smile and be like, you're okay, buddy. Whether that's boy or girl, don't matter. It's okay. Let's get back on there and try it again. Well, the kid, seeing how you reacted, is going to react according to what the parent was doing, right? So their parent reacted sad, the kid's going to be sad. The parent is going to act like it's no big deal. The kid's going to be like, oh, maybe it's no big deal. Maybe it kind of hurts, but I know I'm okay. You know, they didn't break a bone. They're too small for that shit, especially when they're just learning how to ride a bike. They're not going to break a bone and sit down and cry for 20 hours, whether you came up with a smile or not, right? So think of it like as an adult. That same manipulation you had on the child to manipulate sadness or happiness, you can manipulate this shit in your own self, in your own experience, in your own life. And again, it's very simple. You can choose to hold on to a feeling. Your wife left you, and you didn't see it coming, and you loved her. Took the kids, took all your money. Well, you can stay there and be a broken ass bitch, or you can do something about it. You can make your life better. You can stick with what you have and try to make the better of that scenario, that situation that you have put yourself in, whether or not you believe that you put yourself in that position. But you can make it better. You can, you got to work with the scraps you are given. And like my last video, I said that in the socialist realm, not everyone's given scraps, right? People are being put in scenarios where if you were better off with your talents, your IQ, etc., you are put down. If you are putting in more work and making more money, they're taking more from you. And if you decide not to do shit, they're given to you. Talents are given to you. Scores are given to you. Money's given to you. Why? It's pretty simple, but you should check out that full video for the full content of that video. It's about 33 minutes long, and then it cut off on me because that's what my phone does. Okay, it's about 20 minutes into this video, and I did not expect it to go this long. But I just want to make it quite apparent that you choose this. It is not something that is handed to you. A sad life is not handed to you, right? You can have birth defects. There's a causation for that. Check it out. I have 2 videos that discuss how to prevent all birth defects. 2 videos. And it's more than just a 101. It's very detailed. Check out those videos, how to avoid birth defects or whatever the other one is. They're pretty similar. I didn't realize I made the video before, and I pretty much redid it, and I didn't even realize I made the same video. Anyways, you decide how to manipulate your day, your life, and don't ever say that you're going to be sad your whole life, because we're all working with the scraps we were given. The kid who's starving in Africa decides to put a smile on his face. That's all it is. Decision. I could be starving. I'm not going to sit there and moan and groan. What is that going to accomplish? You choose what you're doing. Okay, the word choice happened too many times. Decision happened too many times. Happiness, sadness, etc. I think you get the point. So I'm going to end it here. Stay tuned for more content. We are going to have daily videos, at least 6, 7, 8 a week. We're going to have tons of content back because I am working now and I am doing this stuff and I get bored over the road, so I kind of want to help people, I guess. At least put in my 2 cents to help people. Alright, stay tuned for more content. I have a trucking video probably coming next because that's already on my mind. I'm probably going to make it now. Upload 3 today. And, yeah, it's going to be overwhelming for some of you guys, so I apologize. See ya.